But when you really break down the numbers, what you find is that these football teams are not even similar at all.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Locked On Bulldogs, part of Locked On Podcast, and we're your team every day. The number one source of all podcasts to find your fandom at. That is Locked On Network. We're glad you're here. Daniel and I are talking today about this. I wanted to say, truly and honestly, I'm not trying to dog you too much, Texas fan. I truly wanted to say that Texas and Georgia were similar teams. Because if you look at it, QB play, running the football, Weiser's pretty good. The defensive metrics, good front seven. I wanted to look at this and be like, wow, we might be closer together than further apart. And as my investigation, that was my hypothesis. But then I started finding something, because I don't watch every Texas game like I do. I don't watch every snap like I do Georgia. Started watching, started informing myself, started researching, and I found out the Venn diagram is closer to two full circles than they are a couple of half moons. Daniel, Texas and Georgia are not the same team at all. We have many things to say.
No, we don't.
That is.
We don't. Let me jump in with my first number, Clint. My first number is 55. Okay. Would you like to take a stab at where I'm going here?
It's either a percentage or a rank.
It is. I'll give you that. It is akin to a rank.
It's akin to a rank. Yep. Okay. That's the difference of spots. Is that the difference between us and Texas? Yeah. It's the difference
in a particular category
between us and Texas in rushing offense.
Rushing yards per attempt, Clint. Wow. Somebody ring the bell. I think that's the first time all year one of us has successfully guessed by the numbers. Georgia comes in 33rd in the nation in rushing yards per attempt. Now, that's nothing to beat your chest over and go crazy about. But when you think of where Georgia was last year, outside the top 110 in college football, down there where Alabama is this year.
No.
That's where we've come from. And now to be 33rd in the nation in rushing yards per attempt, it creates balance in this offense. Yep. It creates continuity on these drives. It allows Gunnar Stockton to freely and easily manage the game. It's one of the most important things that you can do for a quarterback. We dog Carson Beck all the time on this podcast, Clint, because he's bad at playing quarterback, similar to a Texas quarterback I've seen this year.
Whoops.
He's bad. Okay. So people who are bad. He was bad, but he did not get any. The best thing you can do to help a quarterback, Clint, is what?
Run the dang football.
Dadgum football is what you need to do to help out your quarterback. Not just because it gains yards without having to make throws. That's great. Do you know what else it does when you run the football, Clint? I know you know this.
The defense honest.
It opens up throwing lanes. The linebackers are leaning forward. And guess what's behind them, Clint? A big ass opening all across the middle of the field. It opens up throwing lanes. It creates opportunities. It makes for one-on-one situations on the outside and down the field. When you can run the football, it does all that. We're 33rd. Incredible. Texas is 88th nationally in rushing yards per attempt. Now, Texas has not been able to run the ball all year. It's been absolutely pathetic. It's one of the reasons that Arch struggled so much to begin the year, which, it's not necessarily his fault. He struggled a bunch because a lot was put on his shoulders because the Texas offensive line has sucked and the Texas backfield has been abysmal.
Yep.
If Georgia's able to make Texas one-dimensional on Saturday, Clint, the Georgia defense is going to be able to do what they did against Mississippi State, which is to bring multiples in the blitz game. Raylan Wilson, CJ Allen, Justin Williams, Chris Cole, Zayden Walker, all coming in various packages in the blitz game because you're not necessarily concerned about the run. Georgia's already a very good team at stopping the run anyway, and you pair that with a team that already struggles to run the football. You are looking at a one-dimensional Texas offense, Clint, in what I think is the most important offensive stat in this game. Can you generate yards on the ground? And you look at the numbers, Clint, and the answer for Texas would be, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so at all. You can tell me all day. Again, we tried to talk about this earlier in the week. We played a lot of the same people. Each time that we compare and contrast the teams that we have played with the teams that Texas has played, we come across and come away with better wins and better performance and better efficiency. Arch included. Because this running attack is down horses, first of all. I'm not talking about running back horses. We could talk all day long about last year's Texas team and last year's Georgia team. There was a better running attack at Texas with far superior offensive line play than last year. Now, Georgia fans, I'm not saying that we were void of talent because clearly those guys went on and are having successful careers so far in the NFL. And we like what we're saying is, it is night and day difference better this year's team, offensive line-wise, than last year. That's not been the same for Texas. Texas is down near Alabama territory, who, by the way, Alabama right now should be scared to death of going into the SEC championship. I'm not saying anything other than you can't finish games and can't keep teams honest without a good, solid running attack. So Texas, you could talk about our defense all day long. And Georgia, be excited because even as our defense struggles, even as those linebackers, even all those people that Daniel mentioned are trying to find their footing more and more reps, more snaps. Great. Love this. Georgia fans, we can stop Arch Manning. Even if Arch Manning is, quote, figuring things out. Great. Good on you. You know what Kirby's going to do? Oh, so I can keep 4 at the line and I could man up. I could bracket. I could do play calls. I can keep over the top coverage as well as man up, as well as send 4 and keep the run game still there. I have CJ Allen and Raylan Wilson and Justin Williams and Chris Cole all over the field who can be erasers for me and play in zone and still come up with the run. It opens up the playbook, especially when you're playing with an inferior rushing attack.
Yeah, wide open. Yeah.
Eat you for breakfast.
And Georgia needs the playbook to be open. This Georgia defense needs the help. That's the thing. Yes, we do. You bring a balanced offense to the table like Ole Miss, and all of a sudden it's a dangerous situation for Georgia. Like they're not capable of getting stops when they need to in critical situations. You bring an unbalanced offense to the table with a suspect offensive line like Mississippi State did, you might get 1 or 2.
Sure.
But you're not going to be able to consistently move the ball against this Georgia team.
Not at all. We're going to come back after this. I'm going to give Daniel a stat that he's going to try to guess, and it has to do with one of the most important positions on the field. But first, we have these. And these are, in fact, Supply House. Supply House is fantastic. You need to get over there right now and take advantage of what Supply House is doing. Order today. See parts at your doorstep tomorrow for HVAC, plumbing, electrical items. Most trusted brands in the business. Real-time inventory, honest lead times keep you from punting projects. Trademaster perks like priority shipping and dedicated support makes the whole process smoother. Join the free Trademaster program today and secure serious perks like priority shipping, lower prices, dedicated support line. Supplyhouse.com. Sign up for free and use promo code SHCollege5. SHCollege5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Real people, real service.
All right, by the numbers is what we're doing today. I gave out the number 55, the difference in Georgia's rushing yards per attempt and Texas's rushing yards per attempt. Clint's got a number for me.
I do.
And I'm going to try to guess it.
Because I want us to keep going here, Daniel. I want to keep this train moving down the track.
Keep the ball rolling. Okay.
I've now modified how I'm presenting these numbers to you.
All right. Trying to throw a softball to me. I appreciate it.
No.
Hey, I appreciate it.
1 to 3. 1 to 7.5. Two numbers, two sets of numbers.
Two ranges of numbers.
Not ranges.
Okay.
Corollary numbers, if you will. Daniel?
God,
if you harken back,
we're throwing mathematical terms out here on a Wednesday?
A ratio, if you will.
Okay, 1 to 3 and 1 to 7.5?
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. I apologize. My math is not mathing right now. Oh, no. I was correct. 7.5 is correct.
1 to 3, 1 to 7.5. So this would be a Georgia and a Texas ratio, right?
Right.
I'm going to say it's like 1 out of every 3 snaps, something happens, or something 1 out of every 7.9 snaps, something happens.
Like that. Okay, good.
Yeah. I'm going to say does it relate to explosive plays?
It does not relate to explosive. It does relate to two varying different types of results. These results couldn't be more different.
All right, let's hear it.
That is the touchdown to interception ratio.
Oh no.
Of one Arch Manning and one Gunnar Stockton.
Not 1 to 3, Clint. Not like this.
Just like this.
No, not like this.
Just like this, Daniel. Look, there is in crunch time situations against SEC, the interception rate that Arch is throwing is abysmal. The interception rate that Gunnar Stockton, I want to focus on Gunnar because I'm trying to liken him, trying to show something. The interception rate that Gunnar has in crunch time situations, in plus territory, in scoring opportunities is far better than Arch Manning. So Arch may have on his side of the 50, we can punt, we can play some field. We're not going to go ahead and get it taken care of. Sure. Have fun all day long. However, Gunnar is taking care of the football when he needs to most, because nothing is as draining as going 5 minutes, milking the clock, and coming away with 0 points. That is soul defeating, Daniel. Yeah. But when you put points on the board, when you take care of the ball, when you protect it, and even I'm putting in that because Gunnar's interception, even in Florida, was 2 weeks ago, was tipped on our side of the territory. Even that, I'll include that into the ratio. He's a far better quarterback of keeping the ball in the offensive hands than Arch Manning is and getting points when needed. Arch has to rely on volume, running game to save his behind. I'm not even including rushing in that, which we could, and Gunnar Stockton would continue to just erupt comparatively to what you're doing. He is not simply explosive, not simply a runner, not simply sneaky athletic, thanks ESPN, but he is a good decision maker with the football and far accurate within that same exact understanding of crunch time, points on the board, keeping control of the ball. Let's even go overall 7% better is Gunnar Stockton than Arch Manning accuracy wise, completion percentage. There's 70% completion percentage for Gunnar Stockton. So this isn't sure, but what about throwing the ball? We can go yards if you want. I can go any stat that you want.
Yeah.
Gunnar is better. And the most important one, keeping control of the football and putting points on the board when you need to most and not giving it to the other team. Daniel, it's not close.
No. The disparity between it's not I don't know. First of all, may I say that the Georgia beat writers by and large, are compromised. How many Arch Manning questions are we going to ask Kirby Smart in his press conference? How many Arch Manning recruiting questions are we going to ask? I mean this with no disrespect. It's just an objective truth based on what you're saying. It is a huge win for Georgia that Arch Manning chose Texas. A huge win for Georgia. Gunnar Stockton's better than him. He's simply better than him. Full stop. The disparity between Arch Manning's preseason hype and Arch Manning's in-season performance is as great as I've seen from any quarterback. And credit to him for sticking with it and improving, because Arch is improving. He is getting better. Credit to him for not absolutely folding under the cataclysmic microscope that he's under as he continually failed to perform when his team needed him, despite his mega hype in the preseason. But I mean, we're talking about a guaranteed number 1 overall draft pick, a guaranteed Heisman finalist in the preseason. Like, first of all, Texas fans, do you even remember this? Texas was the preseason number 1 team in the country. Because of Arch Manning.
That's it. And again, like, this is not so much we're shutting down Arch. I actually think he is vastly improved. I would put him in the upper half of SEC quarterbacks. I'm fine with that. But you know who's number 1 or 2 in whatever list you want to draw up, and I'm fine with?
Yeah.
It's Gunnar Stockton. Like, everyone had him 12th or 13th on the list.
Everybody.
Again, not this podcast. Everyone had him.
Yeah.
He is, but now Arch could come back next year and he could be better, far better, and he could maybe exceed some expectations. But this year he's not, and the team is not, the offense is not, his wide receivers aren't, and his offensive line is not. It's simple.
It's simple. It's simple math. Only you have to accept it for it to really take hold in your life. And so, Texas fans, maybe this is your next step towards acceptance. Maybe the Georgia defense can play a small part in you accepting the reality that is, you landed the number 1 recruit in the history of recruiting.
Good job.
Hang the banner. You did it. We'll be right back with one last number regarding this game next.
But first, I want to let you know about FanDuel. NBA is back. No better place to get in the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you missed part of the game, don't worry. You ride the hot hand. FanDuel Live Bets is everything. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $3 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. Head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. One more number for the people. This is the third segment. Trigger warnings, Florida fan. It hit the ground. Georgia fan. Mike White is an absolute animal, and he is more psychotic than Signetti. And I am here for it. He'll kill you quicker than Signetti ever even thought about doing.
But he'll be smiling while he does it.
Yeah. Daniel, we got another number for the people. This is the third segment. What are we giving them?
Okay. I thought about going a lot of different ways. We'll probably get to some of these, but it is the third segment, Clint.
They expect something. They expect something different from us.
They do. I thought maybe my number in this segment would just be 0-2. 0-2.
That would be a very simple guess. That's Texas's record against Georgia the last 2 years.
As a member of the SEC. That's what that is. We could have gone with 0. Texas
meaningful SEC championship. Yep, great.
Yep. Championships of any kind in the last decade. Relevant season since Mac Brown retired. 0.
You hit people with Mac Brown.
No, well, we needed to go talk about Mac Brown for a second because, again,
that's hard. That's rough.
It was fun. It was fun when Sam Ehlinger ran all over Georgia in that
They were
Sugar
back.
Bowl. And then two programs took very different trajectories from there. Listen, we talked about it on, what was it, Tuesday, Monday, someday. I don't know. I don't even know what day it is.
What day was there?
We talked about it. Steve Sarkisian in these big games. Steve Sarkisian against old buddy Kirby Smart.
Yeah.
He folds up like Mr. Mays' chair. He's not equipped for the moment, the situation. And that's all well and good. Last year, Georgia had as suspect of a team as I can remember, okay? Like, they weren't all there.
Just putting it mildly.
Georgia's got another suspect team this year. They've looked good at times. There's components of their team that look great. There's components of their team that seem to really be a struggle. But this year, Texas doesn't have the horses. Last year was the year if you were going to get it done. First of all, you got the game in Austin, in the largest home game in the history of the program. And second of all, you had us in the SEC championship game with a guy who hadn't played a single meaningful snap in his life coming in for the second half.
Literally.
Couldn't get it done in those environments. And so I ask you, Clint, I ask you, Texas fans, what in God's name could possibly compel a person to think that Texas this year, when they are outmanned, like outmanned in the trenches, outmanned on offense, outmanned even on defense, we've argued, and I'll continue to argue. What could possibly make Texas fans think that they have a prayer in this game, Clint?
I guess that's my biggest question, because even you go back last year, we've already noted the horrible, abysmal rushing attack. ETN went for 4.6 yards per attempt, 3 touchdowns. Carson Beck had 3 interceptions. Our leading receiver had 45 yards, and Dom Lovett was the leading wide receiver with 35 yards. You conversely had Matthew Golden.
Do you remember the wide
Wingo
receivers on that team?
I refuse.
Golly.
It was.
We won the SEC because of Texas. Thank you. We should be this whole week. We should have been just sending thank you notes.
We actually should have been. That's exactly.
This team had no business winning the SEC last year. They weren't good.
We were not. We were not good at all. Nowhere near. Even in the SEC championship, Trevor Etienne, 94 yards rushing, 5.9 yards per carry. Gunnar Stockton had an interception in that game. Notably, Quinn Ewers had 2 interceptions. The number of times you go down and you just go 1-to-1 on performance of these teams, wide receivers, running backs, quarterbacks, I would have argued, and again, not trying to make controversy, but this is just me looking at things and being fine. The better quarterback, until Gunnar Stockton came in the game, was on Texas's team, and it wasn't Arch Manning.
Oh, God, no.
Okay? The wide receivers, far superior on Texas's sideline.
The offensive line, far superior. The defensive line, far superior.
Okay.
And yet, just couldn't get it done. And now this year, you're going to come to Athens against a Georgia team that's figuring it out, that's getting better, that's ascending, that's already better than you at most every key position.
There it is.
Georgia got better wide receivers than Texas does this year. Full stop. Georgia's got a better offensive line than Texas does this year. Full stop. Better backfield. Full stop. Better quarterback. Full stop. And we could go back and forth about the defense if you want.
Sure.
But there's no way that you can walk in here after giving up 30 plus to Vandy, 30 plus to Mississippi State in almost losing efforts, and 30 to Florida in a losing effort, and look me in the eye and tell me that you are confident Texas has a better defense than Georgia. So that's a coin flip at best.
Because again, Georgia fans, be excited. We have head-to-head. We performed better against the same teams Texas has. So our standard's different. we're getting better defensively than Texas is.
Yeah. So Texas offensive line this year averaging over 2 sacks a game. Arch is being sacked on over 6% of his dropbacks. In SEC play, Clint, that number's over 3 sacks a game.
Oh, no.
Over 3 sacks a game in SEC play. Do you know a team that's dangerously close to? It's not there, but it's dangerously close to Mississippi State, the worst offensive line in the SEC that Georgia manhandled last week.
Whooped around.
Yeah. It takes a little bit for this Georgia pass rush to manhandle you. They're not that good. But guess what?
Uh-huh.
Your pass pro ain't that good either. I don't see it, Clint. I don't know why this line's under a touchdown. I do not see it. Check back on Thursday.
Again, Georgia fan. Daniel and I are the most pessimistic fans on the planet.
Georgia fans know that. Texas fans may not.
They don't.
Texas fans only see us being optimistic because they only see us when we play Texas. And let's be honest, why would we be pessimistic? History does not ask me to be pessimistic in this particular matchup.
Texas, I like playing you.
Let's make it a permanent thing.
Can we keep doing this?
We'd love to keep meeting up like this. It's going well for us because somehow you've weaseled your way back into the top 10. And so God knows why, but this win's going to look good for Georgia. It's a resume booster for Georgia.
Have no clue how.
And yet here we are.
When he goes to the Titans, come on back. You can come to an actual SEC program, but you're going to have to learn players' names and how to play football.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You might want to just figure out the Lane Kiffin dynamic now. Like, what the pitch is, and do you need somebody on a computer screen in a tuxedo, like in order to try to get it done? There's a lot of moving pieces. He's Clint. I am Daniel. We're the Locked On Bulldogs podcast, completely off the rails in the third segment, as always. We'll be back tomorrow with a Locks episode where we give our official predictions. We both think Georgia's going to win, but come back tomorrow and we'll tell you by exactly how much. And then Friday, we'll be back for Excited Nervous Don't Sleep on Saturday night, late night overreaction. Texas fans, we know you won't have the stones to show up, but Georgia fans will be here and we'll be having a good time talking about the game. For the Locked On Bulldogs podcast, Clint and I'm Daniel, and we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.